All right, now before we start, we're going to take our vacuum and we're going to vacuum out these two holes like so. All right, now those are vacuumed out. The reason why we vacuumed them out, because down inside this hole, you're gonna have debris and sediment and stuff like that from when you drilled the hole. So you gotta vacuum that out so that way it frees the hole up so you can put your Tapcon screws all the way down in there. So we got our Tapcon screws opened up here. We're gonna go ahead and just set it in there like that. We're gonna set this other one in here like that. So that way they're already set. Now, we're going to make sure we get some lube on these because, again, you want to make sure you got cutting lube. Since we vacuumed it out, there's not going to be any cutting lube inside this hole, which can prevent the screw from going in or make it harder for the screw to go in and you would risk snapping the screw bolt off. Now, sometimes is the screw bolt going to snap off? Yeah, it's going to snap off. Hopefully it won't do it this time, but it is possible that we'll do it some other time. So once you get your screws set, take your T30 drill bit right here. And we're just going to drive it in. Like so. Okay, so that screw's driven in. That's held down. So we're going to do the same with this screw. Okay, so that screws all the way in. This screws all the way in. You don't necessarily need to get down in there. It just has to be touching the flange like this. So we got those screws set. So therefore, when we drill out this hole and this hole, that flange isn't going to move. So we're going to finish drilling these holes out and finish setting these screws up. All right, we got those two holes drilled out. Again, same process. Make sure you clean your holes out. All right, and again, same process. Make sure you put in additional lube. Since we vacuumed all that out, you're going to need to put additional lube in there. We're going to get our other two Tapcon screws, which are over here. Go ahead and set that in. Okay, so that one's set in this hole. This one's set in this hole right here. And we're going to screw these down as well using our hammer drill. Also make sure you lube your screw up, like so. Like I said, you want to make sure that you keep it lubed up so that way it's going to cut easier and cut faster. Alright, so that's a little bit harder to get in, so what we're going to do, we're going to take this drill that we had before, right here. We're going to unchuck this. We're going to put the head in there. We're going to finish screwing these Tapcon screws in. All right, so we got that done. We're going to make sure we got our drill set to the right setting, which it is. We're going to finish driving these down in there. All right, so we're back. So we got all four of our screws down here, here. We did end up losing one right here where the head snapped, which I said if it snaps, it's okay. Don't worry about it. That's why you buy more than what you need. We got a screw here and we got a screw here. So we got all four screws set down on this flange. This flange ain't rocking. It ain't moving nowhere. It is ready to go. All we got to do is set the toilet and set the gasket, and then we'll be done. Okay, so we got all of our toilet bolt hardware here. We got toilet bolt caps. We got toilet bolt screws. That's what a screw looks like when it's set inside the toilet flange. We still got to set the other side. And if you buy one of these things right here, which is the Better Than Wax kit that I was telling you about in the beginning that we bought, it actually comes with your toilet bolts and everything you need to install the toilet right on it. So how you do it, you take your toilet bolt right here. Notice the head is kind of an oblong shape. Okay, your head goes in right here, like that. And you slide it up, and you give it a turn. Not a good small turn, so that way it locks itself in place underneath the flange slide. Then it has a plastic washer, which is this right here, that goes on top of the toilet bolt. What that's going to do is hold that toilet bolt in place, so that way it's not going to be moving on you or anything like that when you're trying to set the toilet. And we did the same right here as well. So now we got that in place and that in place, and now we're ready to go ahead and set the toilet. So the first thing you got to do when you set your toilet, set your seal. This is your foam seal that comes with the Better Than Wax kit that you can get from Lowe's. The Better Than Wax kits are like 10 bucks. Just simply slides over the bolts like that, drops down. Your foam side has to be down on the flange, your plastic side right here on top. Then you take your blue side right here, same thing. Slips over your toilet bolt like that, slips over the other toilet bolt like this, and drops down inside. So now you have your complete flange seal right here on your toilet, and then you set your toilet on top of your flange and you screw the bolts down on top of the toilet. So we did a little job site cleanup off camera to clean the area up, so that way when we set this toilet, there's not going to be anything on our way. We moved our toilet bolt hardware off to the side, got all the tools removed. The only thing we're going to need to install the toilet is this set of wrenches right here, which I'll explain them in a second. Now what I've got right here is a caulk gun and some silicone caulk. This particular client, when we do toilet work for them like this, they prefer that we silicone the inside around the toilet flange, which is not required, but it is a good preventative measure. I've done it several times before, but what this does, it actually seals around this toilet flange, so that way if there ever were a backup or water spilling over outside the flange or something like that, it's going to help protect your tile, protect your floor, and protect other things from water getting up underneath it. So that way you won't have to worry about water getting up underneath your tile or your wood or your vinyl or your LVT or whatever type of flooring substance you use, because it's all going to be covered with the silicone. So therefore it doesn't rot your toilet, or I shouldn't say your toilet, it doesn't rot your floor from what you would say the inside out, so to speak, and keeps a nice watertight seal on everything. And then this will cure over time underneath the toilet. We don't got to wait for this to cure before we set the toilet. You can actually set the toilet right on top of this and it'll be fine. All right, so another problem we found out with this toilet and this floor is not exactly even for this toilet to set on, which it happens sometimes when you're laying tile, especially if you're trying to lay tile with someone and you don't know what you're doing. But to compensate for that, we've got some wood wedges that we put up underneath the toilet in certain spots to help even the toilet out. So now, as you can see, the toilet's sitting flush just like it needs to be sitting. All that's left now is to put the bolts on and screw the bolts down, tighten this guy up so it doesn't wobble, then hook all the water and plumbing back up, and we'll be done. Then we'll do a leak test. Now, one thing about toilets, when you're tightening a toilet up, I'm a big fan of don't use power tools. Because what happens oftentimes, especially with the type of flange we installed, which has got a metal ring on it, if you over tighten this toilet with a power tool and you don't know what you're doing, then not only have you just destroyed the flange that you just installed, but now you're probably going to be in for having to buy a toilet because you just cracked your toilet. So the best practice is always been in our company, touch or feel. So we use hand tools. Most toilets, as you'll see, will come with their own nut sets, which will be about either a 7/16 or a 1/2 inch nut set. And you just take your nut, take your wrench, place it over your nut, and just tighten it down. Now the thing with toilets is you want to tighten it evenly. So we're on 3 turns right here. That's a 4th turn. That's a 5th turn. So now you want to go over to this side, do the same thing. We've got 1 turn, 2 turns, 3 turns, 4 turns, and 5 turns. So why do you do that? Because that's going to evenly set this toilet on both sides, so that way one side's not tightened too much and the other side too loose, which keeps the toilet from rocking back and forth and doing one of those things that you're seeing in the video right now. So you always want to tighten your toilet down evenly and not too much, or you're going to break your toilet. Alright, so we just tightened our toilet up. The toilet is good, it's sitting good, there's no rocking or anything like that, so this toilet's now officially set. We're going to do a leak test and then caulk around it if there's no leaks. Alright, so got the bolts in there. All tightened down. We got the wedges in place on the front and back where we need them. We got the supply line hooked up. There's no leak from the supply line, no leak from the water line. So that's good until it's full. So what we're going to do is we're going to run some water and see if we got any leaks. We're going to leave the valve open so water continues to run down. We're going to check to see if we got any water coming out from underneath this toilet. If you don't have any water coming out from underneath this toilet, then your repair job is done. You simply put some caulk around it. We'll cut away the wedges, and we'll have your toilet fully installed for you. And I'm not seeing any water leaks or anything like that coming from anywhere around the toilet. Let's check the back, which is the hardest part. Not seeing anything coming in from the back either. So it looks like we're good on this toilet. It is ready to be installed, and we should be set. Alright, so now we've got our wedges cut away, as you can see. All you gotta do to cut those away is just take yourself a little razor blade like this. You're gonna dull your blade doing it, so don't worry if your blade gets dull. It happens, it's supposed to. And you just kind of cut away the wood. So as you can see, the wood's been cut away, so that way it's not visible from either side, where we have little pieces sticking out and in the back. So now that's been cut away, we'll go ahead and silicone the bottom of this toilet up, and this toilet install will be done. So there you have it, full toilet install. We've got a nice bead of silicone around the edge of the toilet, so therefore it's going to help keep water from getting out and keep water from getting in and under the toilet. So yeah, there you go. Full toilet install, from how to remove an old flange to installing a new flange. We set the toilet, repaired it, got silicone on it. Hit the like button and subscribe to help support our channel and our social media presence. This is Crisuda Enterprises. I'm Daniel Hubble. Thanks for watching. Stay tuned for the next video and leave us some comments and suggestions. The links to subscribe to all of our web pages and social media will be listed down in the description or in the comments section. Thanks a lot for watching. See you next time on Fixing It with Crisuda.